Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys some Ultra League battles and we will be trying out the Charizard with Dragon Breath today. So we do pretty good. We do get a 4-win, so watch to the end to see that. Please consider supporting the channel, and with that being said, let's get on today's video. Alright guys, for the first round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Giratina. So this is a really good start for us since Giratina is a Dragon and Ghost type Pokemon. And even though Charizard can learn Dragon moves, he is not actually a Dragon type. He is a Fire and Flying type Pokemon. So that means that Giratina will do neutral damage to us while we do super effective damage to him. So if you guys are wondering why we do super effective damage, Dragon is actually super effective against Dragon, if you guys did not know that. But yeah, we also are flexing with that shiny Charizard. So he does make a swap out into Empoleon, and since I do have that Machamp in the back, I will swap out to that Machamp. Empoleon is a water and metal type Pokemon, making Machamp do super effective against Empoleon since fighting types are super effective against metal. I do know that Empoleon can learn Hydro Cannon and Drill Peck. Drill Peck is a flying type move, and flying types are super effective against fighting types. So good thing I shielded right there. That Rock Slide would have done neutral damage against him, not as much, and I do get a really good farm down on that Empoleon, allowing me to get that Rock Slide already charged up. He does step back out into Giratina. This Rock Slide will do plenty of neutral damage against him. Since Giratina is a ghost, he does have a ghost type. My fighting types will do barely any damage against him. And sadly, he does get the farm down on my Machamp, which is not too bad. I do make a swap out into Togekiss, but I do know that Giratina can learn Ancient Power. It won't do as much damage. It will do plenty of super effective damage, but not enough to fate me. And there was only a Dragon Claw that is really good for us. He does make a swap out into Scizor. I will swap out to Charizard to counter that. Since Scizor is a bug and metal type Pokemon, Dragon will do not effective damage because of that metal type. But I do counter his metal type since metal types are not very effective against fire types. This Dragon Claw will go through since both of us will have no more shields left. This will do plenty of not very effective damage. Not enough to get him halfway, but still good. I think my Togekiss does almost have Ancient Power. That will do so much neutral damage against that Scizor. I am halfway to that Ancient Power. I think that I can go for that farm down, since that Giratina is only one shot to my Charm. Fast move Togekiss with Charm is super good because it is such a strong fast move. But the only downside is that your charge moves will charge up super slowly. So I do end up taking out the Scizor. He does step out the Giratina, and he was one shot, like I said, allowing me to get that first round win. Good game to my opponent. For the second round, my opponent's first Pokemon is an Articuno. So Articuno is an Ice and Flying type Pokemon, and Ice will do neutral damage against my Charizard. Since Charizard is a Flying and Fire type Pokemon, Ice types are not very effective against Fire types, but super effective against Flying types. That does create neutral damage. I will also do neutral damage to his Articuno. This Dragon Claw will go through, and I guess he thought that it was a Blast Burn, but sadly my Charizard does not have Blast Burn. It does have Dragon Breath though. Dragon Breath was a Community Day exclusive move, but there was an event for I think last week where you can get 2019 and 2020 Community Day moves, and sadly Blast Burn was in 2018, so I could not get that Blast Burn. But he does make a swap out into Swampert actually, and he does have Hydro Cannon. So Hydro Cannon is super strong against that Charizard. So Hydro Cannon is a water type move. Water types will do super effective damage against fire types. I do make a clean swap into that Togekiss, so my Togekiss would absorb that Hydro Cannon instead of my Charizard. I did get plenty of energy from that farm down with my Charizard. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and he does get another Hydro Cannon off. I won't actually shield here. It is okay not to shield because I do have a Machamp standing up and a Charizard pretty well. So I also got to see his next Pokemon, and it is a Articuno. So if I did get that Ancient Power off, that would have done so much damage against him. I do make a swap back into Charizard. This is going to be an Icy Wind. I know that Articuno's charge moves are Icy Wind, Blizzard, and Hurricane. There's plenty more, but I think those are the main three. So I don't actually shield that. Icy Wind did do plenty of neutral damage. It also did give me an attack debuff, which is okay still. He is left with no shields, so I do make a swap out into my champ to get that Rock Slide off. Rock Slide will one-shot Articuno, since it will do double super effective damage. So this probably will be an Icy Wind. And he does have a double move Hurricane. That would have done so much damage. That probably almost would have fainted me as well. I do have no more shields left, and I don't know how fast it takes to get Hurricane. So I do throw in the Rock Slide just to make sure I don't get hit with another one. So we do see a swap back into Melmetal. Melmetal is a only metal type Pokemon, but he can learn Super Power, Flash Cannon, Thunder, Rock Slide, and more moves. And this was actually a Super Power. Does it faint us? No, it does not. And good thing Super Power is an attack and defense debuff for my opponent. It is really good for us. That means my attacks will do more damage against that Melmetal. And since he has less defense and less attack, he is barely doing any damage. He does not get to another charge move in time, allowing me to get that second round win. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, for the third round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Giratina. So this is once again a really good matchup for us, since Giratina is a Dragon and Ghost type Pokemon. Dragon types will do super effective damage against Dragon, and Dragon will do neutral damage against Flying and Fire types. I guess Fire Spin and Dragon Breath do have their ups and downs, but I still think Fire Spin is a very fast move. But if you guys want to use Dragon Breath, it's still good. But it was only for the fight, my opponent did use a Shadow Sneak. That would have done plenty of neutral damage. He is shielding all of my Dragon Claws, which is okay, because Dragon Claw is a Dragon type move, and it will do so much super effective damage against him. I am gonna let my Charizard fall or faint, so I could swap out into Togekiss without having to go through that swap cooldown. Shadow Sneak is a Ghost type move, so it will do neutral damage against my Togekiss. I am doing super effective damage since Fairy types are super effective against Dragon types. And we do see a swap out into Scizor. I will just try to stick the one-on-one and try to get that Ancient Power. I don't have double moves for Flamethrower, but that's okay. Ancient Power will do plenty of neutral damage since Ancient Power is a Rock type. Rock types are not very effective against Metal types, but super effective against Bug types, which allows me to do neutral damage. So guys, the other recording did not go through properly. It was glitched, so I did have to delete it. But we did lose that the fourth round. But yeah, so on to this round. We do have a bad matchup since it is a Swampert. Swampert is a water and ground type Pokemon, but if I did have Fire Spin, he would have double resisted me. But I do have Dragon Breath, so I am doing plenty of neutral damage. He does not shield anything actually, so I will just stick it. I will use all of my shields, and then I will try to swap out into Togekiss, trying not to get hit with a Sludge Wave. I don't think that he could, since it's like 3 hits to get to Hydro Cannon. I think 7 or 8 hits to get, or I think 6 to 8 hits, I think, to Sludge Wave. So he does actually shield here, and I will swap out into the Togekiss so that my Togekiss will absorb the Hydro Cannon. Machamp will do neutral damage against him, but he is kind of glassy, so I do swap out into Togekiss. So he is down 1 shield. I do have 0 shields left. Let's see his next Pokemon. His next Pokemon is actually a Charizard. So that's really good for us since Charizard is a fire and flying type Pokemon. I could swap out either to my Machamp or my Charizard, since Charizard will do neutral damage. My Machamp will do not very effective damage, but because of that Rock Slide, it will instant one-shot him. So I do decide to swap out into Charizard since I do see a Blast Burn go through. Blast Burn will absolutely destroy my Machamp since it will do so much neutral damage. So I do swap out into Charizard since it can handle Blast Burn more than Machamp. So I do see a shield. If he does throw in a Blast Burn, I will survive. It will do so much not very effective damage, but I will survive and I will be able to feint his Charizard with my Dragon Claw. So let's see, will I be able to? And we do see a swap into Giratina. So his Charizard is one shot, so this Dragon Claw will go through and will do super effective damage. So I will have to swap out into Machamp. The only hope is because Dragon Claw will do neutral damage, but barely any neutral damage. My fighting types are doing not very effective damage, since Giratina is a fighting and ghost type, meaning he double resists fighting types. This Rock Slide will do neutral damage against him. I just have to get at least two Rock Slides off, enough for my Charizard to just finish him off with his Dragon Breath. Will it be able to feint my Machamp? That's the question right here. I don't think that it will be able to. Nice. So I am left with barely any HP and 1 HP. I do get that 1 HP clutch. I can just swap out one of my Machamp feints. I will swap out to that Charizard. Get that Dragon Breath off on both his Machamp, on both his Charizard and his Giratina. He is 1 HP, and I do get that Dragon Breath off, allowing me to get that 4th round win. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, for the 5th and final round, my opponent's first Pokemon is an Alolan Muk. So this is a pretty even matchup for us. This is a pretty good matchup for us, or even matchup for us, since Alolan Muk is a poison and dark type Pokemon. Dragon will do neutral damage against him. Since Charizard is a flying and fire type Pokemon, poison types and dark types will do neutral damage against me. So we do see him throwing a charge move right here. It is only a Dark Pulse. I won't shield that. That did do plenty of neutral damage, but because he is running Snarl, his charge moves come in super fast. But Snarl barely does any damage against that Charizard right here. So I do throw in another Dragon Claw right here. I do see a shield come in. And I will actually mirror his shield as well, since I will be able to get another Dragon Claw after I farm his Alolan Muk down right here. And will he be able to get to another one? And he does not. So let's go. We do get that first feint. That is really good. And it isn't a Alolan Ninetales that comes out. I'm guessing because I did see that Ice and Fairy type at the top. I think it is an Alolan Ninetales. If it is, okay, that is okay. I can swap out into, since he does also have Powder Snow, I was going to swap out into Togekiss if he did have the fast move Charm. But since he does have Powder Snow is an Ice type. But if he did have Charm is a Fairy type. Charm would have done super effective damage against fighting types, but neutral damage against Fairy types. So that Psyshock does go through. That did so much damage. But because of that Powder Snow, he is barely doing any damage to that Machamp. This Rock Slide will do super effective damage against him, so we will probably see a shield go through. Yep, he is left with no more shields. I am going to shield this as well, just so I don't risk. Shielding or not, I would have swapped out into any, and both would have gotten me the win. But that Psyshock would have done super effective damage. I just realized that he only had 2 Pokemon left, so there was no need to show that. I could have just farmed him down with my Togekiss. That would have actually been better. That Rock Slide does go through and it feints him. He does swap out into his final Pokemon, which is Sceptile. I got worried for a second because if it was a Tangrowth, I would have been dead, since Tangrowth is a grass type Pokemon. But Tangrowth is super good because he can learn Rock Slide as his charge move. But since it is only a Sceptile, he can, the only neutral damage that they can do would be Aerial Ace, and his other moves like Leaf Blade and Dragon Claw will do not very effective damage and barely any to my Togekiss. So I do feint his Sceptile, and it does allow me to get that 5th round win. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, so that will actually be the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy, please consider supporting the channel by dropping a like, subscribing, and turning notifications on. This team was pretty good, and yeah, we did pretty good with it. Ooh, we do get that 4 rare candies, but if you guys did enjoy, once again, please consider showing your support. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.